Thank you so much, Malik, for the nice words. Oh, sorry. Okay, so my talk is called How to Make the Web More Sustainable, and my name is Ludwig Schubert. Okay, this is my first time giving this talk, and I am still not sure whether it's done, but I'll just try. Okay, so yeah, this is me. I'm a programmer from Berlin, and like Malik said, I hacked around a lot and tried out different avenues of software engineering. I worked for corporates, startups, freelance. I participated in hackathons, won a couple, and basically I started as a front-end developer, just interested in building games and websites. I got into single-page applications with React and progressive web apps. I became full-stack developer after 2-3 years or so. And I also used GraphQL for the first time in a job. And this got me thinking, PWAs, GraphQL, it's about creating basically websites that feel native and that have efficient functionality, caching, local storage, offline. I fell in love with web development, but I also, couldn't help but notice some things that I think were missing from the web as a development platform. And just to explain what you see at the bottom there, UTCC is my project, and it stands for Utopian Contributor Project. But I will say more about the name of the project and what it is in the talk. So what is sustainable browsing and what impact can it make? I think I have an answer, but honestly it's about finding out together, and the mission of fighting human climate change is a collaborative mission, right? It's not up to a single company or a single entity to do that. So yeah, we need to do it together. And I think one way to do that is utilizing shared foundations. So many of you already use code from GitHub or from NPM. We do that every day and we love it, right? And design systems make development a lot easier and faster. And at the same time, we use pipelines, GitHub Actions, or build pipelines that are automated. And we share a lot of code already, right? But it's basically about applying the same principles from other industries to the web and to the software industry. So in manufacturing, we recycle and reuse, and that's just known, and it's known to work. So the idea is to basically do that on the web. And the fact is that around 90% of website bundles, so the code that is executed inside of the browser for your website, 90% of that code is shared code, dependencies, frameworks, libraries, and design systems. And this talk's not going to be super scientific, but I did a test where I took all those dependencies out of my website, and I got a website that is 10% the size of the full website with all the dependencies, all the shared code bundled. So what if we would reuse all of this code that we already share? What if we reuse it inside of the browser? So this is what I call browser native libraries. And other development platforms like iOS, Android, they also have APIs that are shared within every app. And of course, websites do, but my browser extension is aiming to serve dependencies from local storage and basically enabling optimized builds that are smaller. And now I would show you a little demo. So I'm just gonna create a new project, a completely new project, okay? And I'm gonna call it Sustainable Demo. And this is how I create projects, when I'm starting a new project. I select my framework, select my development environment, which is supposed to be TypeScript. And boom, it just does everything for me, right? It installs the development dependencies, which is basically TypeScript and all that. And the only runtime dependency at this point is React, right? My framework. So I opened this already here. And I just need a new terminal. And now I install my post-processing tool that I wrote. And it's just this one development dependency that you need to install. Okay, I need to use the correct Node version. But then I can add this post-processing tool to my scripts, and this is, like I said, a completely new project. Okay, so there's nothing in it except React dependencies. But now when I build this, I get actually some different things than usually when you build a React app. So I once get my regular build, okay, and then the post-processing runs, and it creates a second build that is optimized and slightly smaller in this case, because we are only externalizing one dependency. But when I now try to serve this build, so I just installed a little development server, and now I'm going to serve the build, go to it in my browser, and you can see it's 62 kilobytes of size, okay? And this is just a new, fresh React project. And now I enable my browser extension that serves React from local storage. And you can see it becomes a bit smaller. And yeah, some libraries here are loaded, right? But if I show you, if I hide the extension URLs, so if I hide the network traffic between the website and my extension, you can see that it's only fetching the main chunk, right, from the network, and the dependencies are outside and redirected 307 to my extension, yeah, and my extension serves the code. Okay, but now we're gonna look at a real website. Okay, so a real website like my website, where I have our roadmap and all this marketing, blah blah blah. That website is bigger. Okay, the main chunk. Whoa, what is happening? I enabled some simulation here. Sorry. So the main chunk here is 170 kilobytes. All right, and I have actually a couple. I actually have a couple libraries in my extension, and when I now load it with the extension enabled, the main chunk becomes significantly smaller. So we save about 100 kilobytes just in dependencies. And you can see dependencies like Framer Motion, that many projects use for animations. It's a very popular animation library. If we could externalize these dependencies from thousands or potentially millions of projects, we could make a big impact in terms of data that is being transmitted through the network, electricity being used in data centers, and subsequently emissions that impact the planet. And the tool is literally just one command that auto-detects your dependencies and the dependencies that it can encapsulate. And it's fully backwards compatible, because if a user doesn't have the extension, it still loads the website as it does regularly. Okay, yeah. Why does it matter? The internet is the most used technology ever, right? It's so intertwined with what we do as humans. And when Sir Tim Berners-Lee invented it, he made it free, and that's why we have all these companies today, right? Like Amazon, Facebook, Google, and stuff, because the internet was free, and that is the real utopian contributor, and I'm just a fan. But the whole name of the project is dedicated to Sir Tim Berners-Lee, because I think he's really inspiring. And the technology is intertwined with humans, but it's also intertwined with the planet. So how can we scale the impact? Well, we want developer adoption, so we need to make it easy to use. So no Webpack configuration hell, please, because yeah, Webpack is like, I don't know how many people here have worked with Webpack, but Webpack is not so nice, and we want this to be used by as many people as possible. So, less configuration is better. To get consumers to adopt it, we made the browser extension because it's pretty easy to install. It's just a couple of clicks. And we want to use the most popular libraries inside of the extension to make the industry adopt this. And that's how we think we can build like a positive future, but also to make people adopt what we built, we want to create an ecosystem that rewards them for it. Because we have ideas about how to make the web more sustainable, but we also need some driving factors and incentives to make people adopt it. So that is the Utopian Contributors project. And we have many more ideas, or we are working on some other ideas as well, because what we saw now is an optimization for the runtime of websites, but that's just the front end part. And there's a whole back end part where we can also apply these sustainability principles like reuse, recycle, realign potentially, right? And yeah, it keeps coming back, which is nice. Yeah, we want to add more libraries, make it bulletproof with testing, and hopefully partner with some tools, pipelines, browsers, to make it easy for everyone to use this and for it to make an impact. And that's what we call a web application ecosystem. And I think the vision is actually pretty easy to understand. Just like iOS has optimizations for Swift, right? And Android has optimizations for Kotlin. But does the browser today really optimize for all these React applications that we're building and all these animations that we're doing? That's what we want to ask and build potentially. So, yeah, thank you.